Okay, so here on the whiteboard, we've got basically the devastating effects of how distress will affect your body if it remains over time and it's repeated and you don't do something to reset this mechanism. Now, in the old days, thousands of years ago, distress was a tiger jumping out at you or some, rock falling off the mountain or something like that. Today, we're calling them paper tigers, like mortgage payments, letter from Revenue Canada or something like that. Taxes, bills, those kind of things. Traffic is a big one. Or if it's the police siren that you see the flashing lights behind you, your body's going to go into this response. It's actually an adaptation response. I like to call it distress response because there's good stress like exercising. It's stressful for your body, but it's actually good for your body if it's done correctly. Okay? And typically it's a fight or a flight. You should beat up the tiger or run away from the tiger. One of those two things, and your body does all these things properly. But if it stays there, it can kill you, and this can actually lead to all the major degenerative diseases and things that are killing thousands and thousands of people because this is staying in our system and we're not doing something to reset the system, like surge training. So I'm going to explain why surge training is important because these are the effects of this. So when you have distress, you're going to have increased cortisol levels in your body. Your heart rate is going to go up, your blood pressure will go up, there'll be more blood sugar, glucose in your blood floating around. There's going to be more fat floating around in your blood too. It's actually going to start to invert your cholesterol profile, meaning you'll get more of the bad cholesterol and less of the good ones. You'll have more clotting factors in your blood, just in case you scraped in the fight, cut, you want your blood to be thicker so you don't bleed out. You're going to have increased insulin resistance, so that way you'll have the blood sugar available for your muscles and it's not going to get stored. You're going to have decreased short-term memory and concentration, so your memory is actually going to go down. You're going to have decreased serotonin and increased noradrenaline levels. So these are the things over the long term that'll actually make you feel bad. More people were doing kind of marathon sessions in the gym, thinking they're in there for 2 or 3 hours. Over a time, people actually start to dislike their exercise because a lot of this stuff starts to happen in their body. You're going to have decreased immunity because your immune system is very metabolically demanding. It takes a lot of energy to run your immune system. And so you don't need all the energy to do that. You need to survive in the moment, so your body's going to shut that down a little bit so you can get out of there. You're going to have bone loss as well. You're also going to have decreased testosterone and human growth hormone. Now, once again, these are important. These are your anabolic or your growth hormones. When you do surge training, these actually start to increase. So you actually start to increase these things. You'll have more of serotonin. You'll actually be feeling better about yourself. You'll actually like exercising because it's brief, it's intense. But the purpose of surge training is to do what you were supposed to do, fight or flight. And it should be brief and intense and very, very quick. So when you do surge training, you help reset all these things back to normal again, because that's what this was for. It was actually set up so you would run away or beat up the tiger. I'm going to explain surge training and how it's supposed to be done in the next section here, and then I'll go outside and actually show you the surge training on the piece of exercise equipment that I recommend everybody get. So we'll look at that in the next part. So this is how you do surge training. Basically what's happening is you're going to do a couple of bursts, 2, 3, or 4 bursts of intense physical activity for a period of about 30 seconds. So I'm choosing 30 seconds. You can change this number. It can basically go, it can start at 20 if you want at the beginning, and then you can, as you get better, you can make those intervals longer, all the way up to about a minute, but you don't want to go much longer than a minute, okay? So what's going to happen is you're going to do 30 seconds of very intense, brief exercise, but you're almost going to be going as fast as you can go using a lot of muscle groups really, really quickly. Then you're going to rest for 30 seconds. And then you're going to surge again for 30 seconds, intense activity almost as fast as you can, rest for 30 seconds more of activity, and then rest, and that's it. You can change these numbers. The better you get at it, you can start making it 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, a little better, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, etc. And if that's getting really easy, but obviously this is very demanding because surge training is safe because you're going as fast as you can go. You're not going as fast as I can go. If you do it on the piece of exercise equipment, the Cellerciser, which I recommend that you all use, it's 1,000 times safer, and it's 100 times or 1,000 times more efficient and more effective for your body because you're working your whole body. Every single cell is working in that. It's a highly recommended piece of equipment. So if you want to increase your surge a little more, what you would do is add another surge on the end of that too. So maybe you would do 4 surges instead of 3. So that's how you can increase this as you get better over time. So that's the basic concept of surge training. We're going to go to the video now and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so we're going to be demonstrating the actual surge training exercise. So as you can usually do this on like on the ground with your running shoes, or maybe on the grass if the grass is nice or whatever. So you know, as we do in the office, you know, I get you doing this kind of thing here, almost as fast as you can, up to about 80 or 90% of how fast you can do it. Lots of body movements. So obviously, you know the reasons why I prefer you to do this on the Cellerciser, because it increases all of the cells of your body working. So when we're doing this, advanced or beginner, we're actually just going to start with the health bounce. So we're just going to bounce up and down. And we'll just do this kind of almost like just like a light warm-up, just kind of gets the calf muscles working. So for about a minute, maybe you can do this, the health bounce. You can increase the intensity a little bit, but remember all the cells in your body are working a little bit at a time. It's increasing your blood flow, your lymphatic flow, which is more lymph fluid in your body than there is blood actually, and that's kind of like your sewage system to get out the waste products and things like that. So I'm doing this in the morning. I haven't had breakfast yet. I've just woken up a little while ago. Got some nice sunshine out here, some nice fresh air. Obviously it'd be great if you could do this outside, but you always can't do this. So now we're going to be doing a little advanced, or you know, intermediate advanced bursts. So we're going to do the health bounce again. So you've done that. So now what we're going to do is, you know, we got the clock going. You're going to go for a 30-second burst. You can choose the time frame. The more advanced you get, the longer your burst and the longer your rest is these. Like we do in the office, obviously we do this on the floor. I'm actually going to do the punching one because I like that one, because it's the fight or flight response that we want to start to recharge, reset that. So I'm actually going to be punching. So we're going to do a 30-second burst starting now. Okay, so basically almost going as fast as I can, 80 or 90% of my maximum. Just going to rest for a little bit. So I'm either just going to do low intensity or basically no intensity, just resting, just a little up and down, just to keep things moving, resting for the same amount of time. And I'm actually going to build in my calisthenics into this exercise. So I could do that burst exactly the same 3 times in a row, but for me just to work different parts of my body and get it all done all together, to get things all done at the same time, I'm going to do calisthenics. So I'm going to work the sides here first. So for this burst, I'm actually going to be doing my sides here. So for about 30 seconds. This one's a little harder. I'm trying to do side to side, so I'm working sides here, the oblique muscles. And it's hard to go really fast when you do this one. You try. So that's a 30-second burst of that. Then we rest, just a little bit low intensity. So like a health bounce for 30 seconds. Breathing. Now the last one we're going to do is actually for the abdominals. So we're going to lean back. Every time my body comes down, I've increased the weight of gravity on my body. It works every cell, and it puts more emphasis on the abdominal muscles as I lean back. So because this is working my whole body, it's a lot better than just doing the spot crunches for your abs. So we're going to do a 30-second burst for the abdominals. I'm leaning back. Every time my body comes down, gravity's working on it more, and I'm working the abdominals more. I'm trying to get a lot of body movement into it. Arms and legs. Leaning back as much as I can. Get the abdominals into it. Alright, so that's the 3 bursts of that is actually pretty good. I'm actually going to add another one. When you come down, the deceleration, acceleration is what's working your muscles and stimulating them. So if I want to work to build muscle, to keep my muscle mass, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump higher. So if I jump higher, there's more deceleration, acceleration, and that puts more stress onto the muscles and stimulates them to keep their size, keeps their activity, to maintain and even grow a little bit of muscle. So my last one is actually going to be high jumping as much as I can. Mixing it up, trying to get as much altitude as I can. Okay, so that was my last burst. So now I just do a little activity again. So I'll just do this for like a minute, maybe in 2 minutes to catch my breath a little bit at the end. So back to the health bounce, and that's it. So it doesn't take that long. As you can see, I'm breathing a little better. Muscle mass, bone density, even my baby agrees. Surge training is the way to go. Get it done quick, efficiently, 2 or 3 times a week. Just do that. You can get a lot done and help your body a lot. So we'll look forward to seeing you again. Never too young or never too old to start Cellercising. Right?